Welcome back to Marketing Connected. I'm your host, Rizwana Manjur, and you are on Agency Agenda, a show that puts the mic in front of agency leaders, diving into how they navigate the ever-evolving advertising and communications landscape. Today, we're joined by Lara Hussein, CEO and founder of M+C Saatchi Malaysia, which has recently rebranded to M+C Saatchi KARSA. The agency was first established in 2003 as part of the global M+C Saatchi group. Lara's been leading the agency for about 23 years. Before founding the business, she held roles at agencies such as M+C Malaysia and Dentsu Y&R. Later, she started her own venture, Brand Energy. So with that, thank you, Lara, for joining us in the studio. How are you doing?
Thank you for inviting me.
We're so excited to
I know,
have
it's
you.
such a pleasure to be here.
And you just flew in today.
Yes.
So we are very happy to be your first pit stop.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit, M+C KARSA. What exactly is KARSA? Am I saying it right, KARSA?
Well, okay, let me give you the backstory a little bit. Okay, so 23 years, as you rightly put. You know, after 23 years, we have taken over, right? So now we're 100% local. So we decided, like, in order to rebrand ourselves, let's come up with a name that really reflects our Malaysianness or our Malaysian identity, right? So we actually created a competition in-house.
Okay.
Like, who could come up with a name, M+C Saatchi something. I mean, normally once like founders take over, they may put their own name, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't want, I mean, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that really reflects who we are. So got everybody to chip in and we got 80 names. And we selected KARSA. And actually KARSA is an interesting word. It's an old Sanskrit word.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I would say 99% of people don't know what it is, including myself.
Yeah.
When it
When
came
it first
about,
came to you,
But I researched it and I thought, wow, that's an interesting name. And you know why? Because KARSA means creative will.
Oh.
Yeah. And everyone, when I explain it, they have that reaction like you. It's like, wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it is all about intent. It's willpower. And it has a deeper meaning about the forces that shape things. It's about the using the hand and the mind. Yeah. And so we wanted something that really reflects our spirit, our attitude. And we feel that intent is such a strong, powerful meaning for the industry, for the agency.
So some might wonder how that's different from what you've been providing for clients in the last 23 years. Some clients might then ask you, like, did you not have intent on the work that you were doing with me?
No, no, fair point. But I mean, no, it's not about that, though. It's about the fact that now we're able to brand it, right? I mean, Saatchi KARSA, as opposed to M+C Saatchi Group Malaysia, which is part of the group. So we're a licensed member of the network. We're not owned by them anymore, but we're licensed. So we can carry the M+C Saatchi name. We can actually create any other name, right? Basically, we wanted something that would identify the fact that we are now 100% local.
Okay.
So it's basically creating a name for ourselves and then finding the right name that suits us. So it's actually an evolution to sort of reinforcing our spirit of having that creative will, the intent of creating meaningful, impactful work.
So it's kind of just a branding of how you guys want to or have been working with clients, not so much of what you've been promising being drastically different from how you've been servicing clients.
Of course, as we have become local and 100% now owned by, just me, basically, and I have, of course, my partners, it's given us freedom, right? Freedom to do whatever we want, and we can actually create whatever products or go to market with whatever offering we want. So to answer your question about how we're going to be different, of course, we have created like different kind of business models to go to market with, which we'll be launching soon.
Any sneak peek?
It's really simple. I mean, we continue with the mainstream stuff that we're doing, which is obviously our bread and butter, right? Like offering clients very strong kind of integrated creative advertising, mainstream, social, things like that. But then we're also having a consulting arm.
Why didn't you drop the M+C name? Like we had Anish as well on the podcast, and he dropped it and became Moonfolks completely.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just become KARSA?
Because actually, to be fair, where Anish and I are a bit different is because, when Anish changed, he had only been in the market a couple of years.
Okay.
Whereas, I've been in the market for 23
23
years.
years. Wow.
And I feel that it's a name that people recognize.
Yeah.
It's a name that just kind of, it already has its own awareness. So I don't have to restart again, and I just feel like it's nice to be still part of the network in a licensed model.
So 23 years, that's a long time. Was it a tough decision when you came to, thinking about it as a licensing partner rather than, a home in some ways? Or did you take very long to ponder on it that do you want to make this leap or not?
Emotionally, yeah, it was difficult because, it's like a turning point, right? Like, what do I do next personally, my career?
Yeah.
Do I keep on going? Because, it's challenging, challenging times. Like doing it at the most challenging time.
Yes, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. So, of course, it's a risk that I'm taking, because it's my own money, right?
Why are you doing it at such a challenging time?
Well, I mean, it's just that opportunities come, right? It just comes, it knocks on your door, you just grab it, you take risks. And I've always been bit of a risk taker, I think, in my life. And I don't think too much. I don't overanalyze. I don't overthink. Also, I just think that, look, spoke to my husband and said it's a good evolution, to have something that is 100% yours. I think that's quite important.
How big is M+C Saatchi KARSA now?
There are about 80 people.
Wow. Okay.
But we used to be
Bigger, I remember, but 80 is still sizable.
we used to be bigger.
Yeah.
When COVID came and hit us,
Yeah.
quite bad.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think it was all around.
and
How did your teams feel when you announced the fact that, hey, we're going to be KARSA now?
well, there was two phases, right? The first phase is when the global CEO came and told us that, we're transitioning and that we're going to become a licensed member.
Okay.
So that meant that the founders were taking over.
Yeah.
So that was one part of it. And I think people welcomed it because there wasn't any feeling of uncertainty or anything because it's been me, right? I've been at the helm so long. So it's the same leader. As far as they're concerned, nothing's going to change. And in fact, if any change, it would be for the better, right? 'Cause they see, freedom and they see that things can become much more efficient and they were not bound by a lot of the tools or platforms.
Infrastructures, yeah.
There's a lot of unnecessary bureaucracy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Being independent isn't easy, especially like where we're at right now, as we've just spoken about. But there are a lot of boutique agencies or even individuals buying out agency, especially in Malaysia, which I find very unique. What's the spirit of Malaysia that allows this to happen?
Well, I think Malaysia, we've got a very strong entrepreneurial spirit, right? A lot of young people who are very daring.
Yeah,
Very
creative,
very daring. Lots of startups who want to venture out on their own. A lot of creative guys who set up on their own because they are tired of the bureaucracy and the limitations that restricts their freedom. So people who are brave and daring would just go out on their own and set up and see how it goes. And a lot of them do very well because they're a small agency, maybe 5-10 people.
Yeah.
They deal direct with clients.
Yeah. I've seen that in recent years, there's a lot more boutique startup agencies in Malaysia. Does that make life a little bit difficult for more well-established agencies like yours?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes we face competition from small boutique agencies.
Especially when costs can be
compromising-wise. Yeah. And it's not that they're less talented. It's not like they're less creative. They're run by founders who are from big agencies before.
Yeah.
The only time where we tend to have an upper hand is when we're dealing with a retainer client, like a big telco, for example, or an airline or something big that it may not be able to manage operationally because it takes a huge force to be able to deal with some of the telco.
Yeah. What keeps you going though? 23 years is an exhausting. Ad industry is exhausting. We're not gonna sugarcoat it, right? The late client calls, the weekends, the never-ending tasks. 23 years of that. What keeps you going?
Well, that's an interesting question because I always think, well, if I stopped, if I didn't do this anymore and did something else or just nothing, what would I miss, right? And I always ask myself that. And I actually will miss the passion for the work. And I also will miss the people. I think I'll miss the team spirit, the team collaboration. I think I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I enjoy like talking to people. I enjoy engaging with the team. I enjoy that part of the process. I think I'll miss that if I didn't continue.
Yeah.
For a while at least. And so I guess it just drives me, it kind of like stimulates my mental kind of intellectual, whatever you want to call it, spirit, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that.
And in this long journey that you've had, is there anything you miss about the olden days of marketing compared to where we're at today?
Of course. I mean, like a lot of things, like, for example, the agency life was different, right? Because in those days, you build a lot of friendships.
Yeah.
And you tend to stay in the agency for a long time. Like in my whole career, I've only been to 3 core agencies. I mean, that's things I'd say for us. Yeah. So you build a lot of friendships, and a lot of my friends have been, built through our life and agency. I just find that today, it's different, right? The generation, people tend to move around. So I miss that sense of loyalty that people had towards the agency, towards the teams that we built over time,
What about the client side? I mean, one of the things I miss a lot these days is the conversations around creativity that really inspires. I feel so much of my conversations nowadays are around data and tech, which is exciting. There's a lot of developments there, but I miss the people aspect of the job on certain days. What do you miss about the marketer relationships?
I mean, of course, in those days we did work that was very, we did a lot of big productions, right? Involved a lot of storytelling. We still do some of that, but not in such a huge scale. And I used to do British American Tobacco. We used to fly to LA, fly everywhere, do all these mega shoots, spend, good, decent production money.
Yeah.
Really, really
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Very international also, because we could afford, right? At that time, like get top directors, producers from overseas to come. And so the whole aspect of creativity is different, right? Because in those days, it was all about creating big, big stories, work.
Some might say that you've had it easy because you come from a prominent background, you're well connected in Malaysia. What would you say is a struggle that you have faced that many might not be privy to?
Well, I think I face the same struggles. I mean, the challenge that we all face in the industry is same, like talent, finding great talent, good quality creative talent, loyalty again, building client relationships, growth. It's a big challenge, right? Where do we look for new revenue source, find different gaps in the market? Those are ordinary challenges. And I think, it's interesting that you say that, but I work hard, like you do. And like, I know you do. Yeah. So it's not like it lands on my plate. Like it doesn't, I go through it same. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah. It doesn't.
You still have to work for it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So my penultimate question before I ask you to wrap up, where are businesses in Malaysia heading? How's it been? I know it's not been the easiest couple of years. There was also the boycotts that was happening. This year, 2026, what's the business sentiment like in Malaysia? That gives you also the confidence to start this.
Well, I think Malaysia is an interesting country because, we're not big, right? But yet you feel that the business climate is still quite positive because we have government businesses, we have government-linked companies that still continue to spend. You look at the telco industry, you look at the property industry, even if you look at oil and gas industry, they're still spending, I would say, reasonable sums of money. So that's the first thing, the market, right? You still have clients who are spending. And these clients, although of course moved into, digital and all, are still very much integrated. So they still do traditional advertising. If you look at the festive, still a lot of production going on, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's not the same as before, but I'm just talking relative to other countries. There's still a lot of movement there, right? So that's the first thing. The second part is that there's only, when you look at the agency climate, right? I know you talk about small boutique agencies, but when you look at the medium size for big ones, maybe there's a handful, top 10 agencies, 4As, right? But you can count them, to name them. So when clients are looking for an agency, I'm talking these big clients, right? Not that many that they can look for, actually.
Okay, thank you, Lara. So as we wrap up this session, tell us what exactly is on your agency agenda this year and what we can expect from you.
Okay, so we're going to be launching M+C Saatchi KARSA. In fact, you're the first
One of
I'm
the
talking
first.
to. Right? So we're very
Thanks for
excited
letting us
about
know.
that.
Yeah.
And also we're going to be coming up with different kind of products that we want to go to market. Will come under either what we call mainstream, which is the agency, and then or the consulting side of the agency. So we'll be divided into two streams. So the agency will be more of the mainstream stuff, and then the consulting side will be very C-suite level, going to CEOs and doing a lot of productization, doing a lot of developing like new areas for the C-suites to consider. Becomes like a reason for them to advertise.
Yeah.
So it's basically the product before the advertising that we'll be creating for them.
Creating more of product creation, innovation, and things like that.
A lot of thought leadership stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of insight, understanding, really deep diving into key markets, especially Malay segment. You're going to be doing a lot of work on that.
Lovely. Well, you've got a busy year ahead of you, but we thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being
wonderful chat.
On that note, everyone, thank you again for being part of this episode of Agency Agenda. And to our listeners out there, fear not. Although this interview with Lara Hussein of M+C Saatchi KARSA is over, we've got loads of other episodes that you can catch on our Marketing Connected channel and YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Marketing Interactive social media pages on Telegram, Instagram, and LinkedIn to get alerts on new podcast episodes. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Marketing Connected, brought to you by Marketing Interactive. Thanks, everyone. See you.